Before we move on, we need to talk about the elephant in the room.
Girl, what the f?
I lost a bet. That's all you need to know. It's day 3 of running Thameslink, day 50 of running every line and station on the London tube map, where I'm starting here today at St Pancras, finishing at Elstree and Borehamwood. We're coming up to disused station number 1 of the day at Camden Road. Now, this station closed in 1916 around World War I as an economy measure and has stayed closed ever since. KENTISH town, 3.39 kilometres. Let's keep it moving. We're on our way now to West Hampstead Thameslink, but just before that, you know what's coming, don't you? And yep, it's another disused station. This station also closed in 1916, and the station building that was here was demolished in 1969. In the mid-80s, when the Crosslink tunnel had opened, so from Farringdon over to like City Thameslink and Blackfriars, there was a rumour that was also started that this station that was here was due to be reopened. However, clearly, nothing came of it. I'm here at Belsize Nature Reserve, where this little brick structure that's behind me is an air shaft for the tunnels right below for the Midland Main Line. The Thameslink trains run underneath as well. So we're in front of this house here, but not just any old house. It's actually, well, now a museum. Why is it a museum? Well, it's because it's actually the Sigmund Freud Museum, who, if you're not familiar, discovered psychoanalysis. It's a beautiful property though. So now we've got West Hampstead Thameslink station that's next, but just before that, there is yet another disused station. I know all the disused stations for this one. But this station here was Finchley Road, Midland. This station closed in 1927. Reason being was that I lost out to the competition from Finchley Road, just down here, as well as the trams, as well as the buses. It just wasn't feasible to keep this station open. Now, the platforms that were down here were demolished sometime in the 80s to make way for the electrification programme up to Bedford. In fact, the common theme between those 3 stations, so Finchley Road, Haverstock Hill and Camden Road, is that they all closed due to competition from the tube, as well as the trams and the buses. When the stations had first opened sometime in the mid-1800s, I believe, the stations were well and truly used. But because of the convenience of the tube going right into central London, that took away from the passengers using the stations here. And the only station to exist is Kentish Town. But anyway, we're going to make our way to the next station, West Hampstead Thameslink, where that station is still open. There were plans at one point to connect the 3 stations at West Hampstead. So where you've got West Hampstead on the London Underground, the London Overground, as well as here for Thameslink. They were going to connect it via a footbridge, but that clearly hasn't happened. I still think about for West Hampstead on the Underground that should have platforms for the Metropolitan line, because right now you have trains that run direct from Finchley Road over to Wembley Park. But I really think there should be a stop at West Hampstead so that all of the stations and lines can connect. So that's just my opinion. Next up, who needs Hollywood when you've got Cricklewood? Sometime in the future may become a part of the London Overground, should the proposals for the West Orbital Railway go ahead. Now, if you're not familiar with the West Orbital Railway, it's a proposed London Overground extension thing from Hounslow and Kew Bridge over to Cricklewood and up to Hendon, I believe. And Corlin had a brand new station that we're going to take a look at right now. And just through the fence there is the works of what's going to become the future Brent Cross West Station. This is due to be completed sometime in 2022. Should all things go to plan, this will be served by Thameslink services as well as the London Overground, should the West Orbital Railway come to fruition. It'll be good to revisit this station once it's fully completed. It'll be a hell of a lot different compared to what it looks like now. So at quite a busy junction here, but just right above me is the North Circular. We've also got the M1 that's there, but lying directly parallel is the Midland Main Line. So this right here is BRENT Reservoir. This area here was known as the Welsh Harp. In fact, just as we're getting up to Hendon, there was a former railway station called Welsh Harp. The path getting here though, yeah, it was a bit unusual. What kind of Bear Grylls bull is this? 17.9 kilometres, we've just made it to Hendon. But at this point, we've got 2 more stations left. We've got Mill Hill Broadway and the last station of the day, Elstree Borehamwood. Oh my god, there's a plane that's just coming into land. But if this was in the 1900s, so where I am right now is the former Hendon Aerodrome. You also have the RAF museum that's here too, as well as the former hangars that are around. Hendon Aerodrome is what you would call iconic because it was the location of where the first ever airmail had took off from. It was also the first ever flight from London to Manchester. Back in the early 1900s, there was a newspaper that put out an ad to all aviators to challenge them to fly from London to Manchester or vice versa to see if it was possible and to do it within 24 hours. And it was from this aerodrome here where that was possible. As well as the museum that's here, there are some little nods to the space once being an aerodrome. Just before we get to our next station, Mill Hill Broadway, there is another little tidbit that we're going to talk about, so let's make our way over to Mill Hill Broadway. Just around the corner from Mill Hill Broadway station, you did have the former line from Mill Hill East to Edgware that passed just underneath here, which I did speak a little bit about last week. So far this run has been really pleasant. There's definitely been a lot of tidbits of history and everything along the way, which I can always appreciate. Next up, Elstree and Borehamwood. Let's do this. At the minute I'm hitting a wall, which is so annoying because we're so close to the finish, but I'm just like, I feel like as if I can't even think of that. I find myself walking a lot more than I am running. I'm just finding it hard to find the motivation at the minute, and it's really annoying me. Ugh. Alright, whatever, I need to put this down. It's weird, like I feel physically fine, but I think it's definitely the mental aspect, the mental burnout. It's so frustrating because like physically I know I can do it and I have done it before. It's a mental thing where you get to a certain point and you just need to like, just like push it over the edge. So that's where I'm at anyway. You have got to be kidding me. So my watch has just crashed. I've lost the route. I don't think it saved my route for the whole way. And it was approaching 30 kilometers. Great. Just great, honestly. Love that. I love that for me. On that note, let's just get to the last station of the day. Finally here. Elstree and Borehamwood. Close to Elstree and Borehamwood station, you've got Elstree Film Studios. Outside the station, you've got almost like a memorial plaque dedicated to Harrison Ford. It's like a mini LA here because you've got the Star Walk. That's around here, so you've got other famous actors that have used Elstree Studios. We made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much. If you want to watch more videos, check out the playlist. 2 videos appear.